What's up? Vlog 38? Yeah. Today was a really good day because, as you can tell from the title, I did a bit of it. Not a bit of it, I did enough to make a pretty big dent on, like, the. Sorry for the squeaks, by the way. This chair does that a lot. So, the first thing is, I have been able to come so close to completing my very first project. And by very first, I don't mean like, oh, since I started YouTube, my very first project. No, my very first project in my life, personal project that I'm about to complete, bring to completion, and then all I have to do will be to share it to the world. I, the thing is, I've never actually done that. Every single time that I used to try to even a little bit, like, get close to completing it, I would zone out, or like I would get bored by it, or it would get so hard to do that I would just not do it. But recently, and by recent I mean I think August or September, I noticed something that I heard many people talk about, especially like they talked about it in Atomic. They used to mention Atomic Habits. Though I haven't read the book, I learned the basic ideas, and what I understood was that you have to make building that habit easier. So make it so easy that it doesn't even feel like you're doing anything. So for example, I have this thing called daily passages, which I just remembered I haven't done for today, and by today I mean yesterday. Right now, it's above over 12. Yesterday's passage has not been done, and my day does not end until I sleep. So I'll do it and then go to sleep. But first, I have to finish the vlog too. Why am I pointing like this? This is going to be so uncomfortable for anybody who views this video. So yeah, so like I never used to do like projects, so I learned this technique and I tried to implement. So what if, instead of making as many passages as I want to, or as many as I can, what if I restrict myself to making one passage every day continuously, and not do more than one, not do less than one, and do this for 90 days, and I'm reaching the end. I'm literally at my the final countdown, like the last 10 passages. That's where I am. I think today would be the 80th, and by today again I mean yesterday. This is so confusing. So I think today would be the 80th or the 81st passage, and then I need to reach till 90th, and then I'll make the first volume of this thing that I like, that I'm calling Inside a Cuckoo Brain, which will be like every single day I wrote one single passage, and I not only improved in those series, I also got interesting short stories out of it. Because if you think, just think about it. Every single day you'll get influenced by something and you'll get an idea for a story. If you write each short story if you write a short story every single day, you'll have such a variety of stories to tell, right? So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna publish it. And by publish, I don't mean like physical copy, because I'm 18. I don't know where to go right now. But what I'll do is I'll go digital. So basically Wattpad, and I don't know if radish fiction would be right. I don't know, but like essentially like digitally I'll publish it. But technically I'll publish it on the internet for free for anybody to view. That would be exciting. But back to the main point. What was the personal project that is coming to closure? And by closure, I mean I'll be able to wrap up the gift. I'm saying the title. So like I would have finally wrapped up the gift, my first gift, and place it into scheduling section, or like post-production, you could say, in a way that I've wrapped it all up. I've wrapped up my project, and then, okay, I should really stop moving around. But okay, so like then I can just put it there and wait till like December when I'll have more free time because winter holidays, and then I'll just schedule it for starting from I think January maybe or February. I don't know. I'll figure it out on in December. But what is that present project? Basically, I have been making music. It's shitty music. I'm not that good. I just started. It's my first album. Basically, kind of like the Inside of Google Brain, just that it's six tracks only, and I don't sing in it. There aren't any real instruments used. There are only digital instruments used, and just a tip: guitars are not good in digital instruments. At least I couldn't get them to do work that well. You can only make use of like, oh, 1 2 3 strings. Like you can make basic noise like dung 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 dung. You can do those, but you can't do those strums. I don't know how to do the strums. I've tried to look for it. Either it's too complex for me to understand right now, or it's not possible, and it's rather easier maybe to do it with a real guitar. Will I learn a real guitar? Probably yes. Probably yes. I wanted to learn ukulele when I found out about Boy with Uke. Yes, I do get crazy over people that I kind of connect with in a way. I haven't met him, but like through his songs, I kind of like his songs. My favorite is Migraine. It's I don't know I connect with the Migraine for some reason. So yeah, that is I think mainly about today. Some side notes I guess would be in arts class, the teacher was like, do this in realism, and I was like, okay, I'll do it in realism, but for some reason my body was like, no. Because what happened is I accidentally added more water, and what happens when you add more water to paint, acrylic paint. This painting was in acrylic paint, and what happens is that if you put too much water in acrylic paint, it becomes really liquidy, right? So when you put too much liquid paint on paper, what water does is that it doesn't just spread out flat. What water does, it joins together and becomes like tiny tribes. Anyway, I'm just calling them tribes. So they become tiny tribes all over the place, and you can mess around with them even. So what I did was because my artist used to do in that way, like making it really liquid, but the teacher was saying realistic. What I accidentally did was I took like thick acrylic paint, dipped it in water, a lot of water, and then painted it. So what happens is it becomes this really nice middle point of both sides. I really want to show you that, but it's in the other room. So I will have to pause this video and then bring it here. So give me a sec. I really want to show this. This is the first painting that I can show because it doesn't have my mother in it or any person in it that I know of that is like a friend or family that I have to ask permission for. This literally just a pigeon. So give me a sec. I'll just pause the video. I am so stupid. It was literally right there, and I went to the other room, and then I panicked because I couldn't find it. Okay, let me just show it to you. Weepy. I don't know if you guys can see it. I think around about at this angle you could see it. I think I'll just put the mic down and look at the camera from behind. I don't know why I wanted to bring it further closer to the camera. So if you look closely, you see these strokes right here. These strokes, these are made by a knife, not an actual knife. There's a thing called palette knife. You might have noticed those. There are those channels that like take different color paints and say like, oh, what would the colors on the flag of, let's say, America combine? What color would they make? Stuff like that. You might have noticed they hold this thing that's called a palette knife. So essentially, what I did was, I took acrylic paint, not acrylic paint actually. No. I took printing ink, not the printer ink, the ink that you put in printer, not that one. There's another thing called printing ink. It's used to make prints, but it's like an old method of making prints before printer machines were made. So it's kind of it's oil based, and it's kind of like a paint. You put it over this engraved. I forgot the words, but like essentially, oh yeah, etched. You basically take an acrylic sheet. It's like this. I actually have it right here. Oh wow, today is the luckiest day. I have everything that I need to explain to you guys. So this is what it's called an acrylic sheet. You see this? It looks like glass, but it's not. It's like plastic, sort of. I don't know. So it's kind of dirty, but essentially, you take acrylic sheet, you etch on it, and if for anybody who doesn't know what etching is basically engraving that sheet by like pressing down and taking out some of the acrylic sheet. So you take a needle or something like that and you engrave it. Then you take some printing ink and you put it all over it. You spread it evenly. Then you put a sheet of paper over it on which you want it to be printed. And then you take those. You might have noticed in the old times they had these printed for newspapers. They had these things, heavy machines that used to squeeze down. I don't know what they're called. I think they're still used, but they're way more powerful and used by construction workers. Hydraulic press, I think. Maybe it's it's an hydraulic press. Yeah, technically it's an hydraulic press. I don't know exactly the terms. So you take that, you put a piece of paper over this acrylic sheet which has this printing ink on it, which is deep, which you're trying to like. What is wrong with me? I'm confusing myself. Essentially, you take an acrylic sheet, you etch on it whatever image you want to print, and then you put a printing ink over that etching. Then you take a sheet of paper that you want to put the print on. You put it over over the printing ink. Then you take this whole sandwich, put it in the hydraulic press it down, and then when you take it out, you take out the sheet. It has a print on it. So the very same printing ink, I just took that. I took a palette knife, took it out, and put it, and then just messed around with it. And if you're wondering how did you mess around with ink, it's not that liquidy type of ink. It's kind of like that paint type. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like glue. It's sticky. It's annoying a bit even. But it's interesting. It actually ruined my shirt. I had bought a white color shirt on my birthday, on my 18th birthday. I loved it, and it just has ruined it. I can't find a single thing that works to remove that printing ink. So be warned when if you're gonna mess around with that thing to make something. So yeah, that is how I made the background. The foreground, I think I'm already explained it. Brush, acrylic paint, and a lot of water to make the acrylic paint a bit liquid. That can create a really interesting style. I think the artist I'm using is Jamil. Yeah, Jamil. Sorry, it was Jamil. Jamil Naqsh. He was a Pakistani artist. He's basically dead now or unalive. I don't know what YouTube's gonna allow me to say. So he's basically unalive. Actually, I just want to say dead. He's dead. Okay, he's dead. He's deader than dead. So, or passed away. That's more formal and respectful. He passed away. I don't know when, but he had this. In his paintings, you can see this technique where he put too much water. I think it was acrylic paint or it was oil paint. In oil paint, he would have put more turpentine or some other oil, whereas in acrylic paint, you put water. So, too much water in acrylic paint makes it really liquidy. So then you can mess around with it like that and creates really interesting patterns. What I did in this one, in the bird one, the pigeon one, whatever you want to call it, I took a thick amount of acrylic paint, dipped it in water, like excess water, not just itty bitty dips, no, like excess water, and then I just start painting. And if ever you feel like, oh, it's not covering some parts, because that would happen because water does not like to spread around, it likes to turn into mini tribes, so a lot of times it gets hard to cover the whole page. What you can do is decrease the water. And I mean, that's the simplest answer to that. Or you can mess around and you'll figure it out. It's okay. It all takes practice. I'm not the talented type. It literally took me, I mean, technically it took me 18 years to reach this point, to be able to do that. I wasn't talented. If only I could find some old artworks of mine from childhood, they're trash. Okay? They're literally trash. I'm not joking. I go 2 years back and I'll cringe. I have a painting over there that's kind of good, but like I hate it even because I can see the imperfections now. Because I've gotten better and because of practice. So yeah, this was the side note. I got too big and I got too excited. I should have just made it on that. I don't know why I didn't make it on that. But yeah, this was my day. This is vlog 38. See you in this is vlog 38. See you in vlog 39. And like, hope you have a nice day. Bye.